Hey everybody, welcome back to the farm. We are doing another muscadine growing tip video. Super easy little tip for you guys that are growing muscadines here midsummer. We are actually mid-July. I'm going to do this just a little different. I'm just going to sort of walk around and talk you through it. This is the small vineyard. The big vineyard's over there on the other side of the farm. But I wanted to show you guys how our little small vineyard's doing. It is doing absolutely fantastic. As you can see, we're just loaded with grapes. They are absolutely everywhere. Lots and lots and lots of grapes. But the only thing with the small vineyard, when I put this small vineyard in, I did not keep up with what grapes we have whatsoever. I just know I did the first row in muscadines, second row scumpernongs, muscadines, scumpernongs, muscadines, scumpernongs. And the last row is a ruby crisp because I wanted to plant some of those. They're doing really well. The first one, it's getting close. It's getting close. Got a little brown on it. I've heard a lot of people say, what do I do with all these brown leaves and all that? Don't worry. Unless the whole plant turns brown, then you got some worry. Don't worry. Midsummer, a lot of these things are stressed out because of lack of water, over fertilizing. There's a lot of things that can go wrong, but I don't worry. As long as these jokers are still growing, they're going to be fine, especially these first year plants. This one's almost made it. They're looking great. This one here is bushed up. Now I came in and pruned these just the other day, but I just gave them a shot of calcium nitrate. And it just puts the growth on. So that one has actually went past. This one hadn't quite made it, but this one's actually gone past. So what I'll do, this is a good tip. What I do is when it gets past, you can let it grow if you like, but I just pinch it. That stops the growth, and it'll add more growth on the side shoots. So like I say, I can let that grow. But all these side shoots, you can just add some bulk to your plant. No big deal. Another thing you can do, if you got some sag in your line, I like to try to pull these little tendrils right here. I like to try to pull them and tighten them up. Sometimes they will, sometimes they won't. There we go. That way you get a nice run down the wire without sag. Got a problem here. Got to cut that down. I got to take a saw and get up here and cut that. I got to get rid of that. That's going to be a problem. But this was the one I thought was not going to make it. And it's doing pretty good. It's starting to go down the wire. I done pinched it, and it's starting to spread out. For you guys that have been keeping up with my channel and the little tip videos, y'all know that one was one I thought I was going to have to pull. But it's coming back. It's doing great. This one's doing awesome as well. But that's not what the video's about. We're midsummer, and look at these jokers. They're growing like crazy. They're actually starting to grow into that grass all the way down. Every single row is it's getting crazy. And what happens is when we take the lawnmower and run down through here, the side wheels that run on each side of the deck, the guide wheels, I don't know what they call them, but they will grab this stuff and just rip it down. I've actually ripped off chunks, and it's heartbreaking. I've ripped off big chunks and another 2 years to grow it back. I have ripped off where I thought I killed the whole plant. But so we try to prevent that. What we do is a summer pruning. It doesn't hurt your plants whatsoever. Actually, back a long time ago, a few years back, I would just do it with a hand prune. I'd put my little earphones on, listen to the radio, snip, 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 just go through, and it took forever. But I got it done. And then I started with the hand, because we're on a budget here at Kinfolk Farm. I started with the little hand shears, and I did that. Well, then my wife finally bought me some nice electric shears that takes about 30 minutes to do this little small vineyard. We've already done the big vineyard, but I'll show you these shears she got me. This little Skill battery operated shear hedge trimmer, I guess you call it, works fantastic. I'll show you how this thing works, and I'll show you how we clean this vineyard up. Now, to each his own. You don't have to do this if you don't want to. I do it because it's a problem when we cut grass. And I got my little grandson cutting grass now. He's not quite aware of the plants as I am, so he just cuts the grass. And I try to make it easy on him. Now, right here at the post, I just take one big swipe and clean up my post. Now, remember, it won't hurt your plants. Don't get too close to your main vine. I try to cut about knee high when I go down the row. But here at the post, I just try to get all this garbage off. And be aware also, if you have irrigation, not to cut your irrigation. I tell you these little tips because everything I tell you I've done. I've actually sliced right through my irrigation before and have to put it all back together. Well, next I'm just going to go about knee high, and I try not to hit the main trunk. This thing, I've hit the trunk before of the plant, and it'll bounce off. It really doesn't hurt it. But I've really tried not to do that. And then I also try not to hit my bottom wire that has the irrigation. I try not to hit any of my posts, especially the T-post, because they will do some damage. So don't just nonchalantly come down and just go at it. I have to tell myself to focus because you can do some damage to your shears or your plants. Now you can see these little shears make quick work of this. I'll do both sides. I'll do this side, and I try not to reach through, but I just do this side, make it easy on me, and go on the other side, do the other side. Then I'll come in and cut the grass and just chew all this stuff up with a lawnmower. Well, now you can finally see what it looks like on this side, what it looks like on that side. You can just go through here and cut the grass, no problems. And in about 3 weeks, it will literally be it will be back in the grass again because of the watering that we do and the fertilizing. It's just crazy how fast these things grow. And another tip, you really don't want to get up too high. That's where your grapes are. Just keep it about knee high. And like I say, you don't have to do this. It's not like a growing thing that you have to do. I just do it because I've ripped them down with a lawnmower before. And now my grandson's cutting grass, so I try to make it easy on him. So I just keep everything nice and pretty. And another thing, it does make it look, to me, a lot better. The big vineyard, I have to do it. Because I said on a video before, if you guys haven't been keeping up my channel, I said on a video before, these rows I planted 10 foot wide. The ones in the big vineyard, I planted 8 foot wide. So they will tend to grow into each other. So about twice a year, I'll come and do a summer pruning. Right before we open our Upick, which we'll talk about later, I come in about 2 weeks before we open and do a nice tight pruning, and I'll do a spray underneath just to keep it really, really pretty. So when everybody comes out, not only are there tons of grapes, but the vineyard looks really nice and well kept. The grass will be nice and cut. I really go hardcore like 2 weeks before we open the vineyard. But I'm gonna go ahead and knock this out, and I'll show you what it looks like when I'm done. Well, now that I'm done, I'll show you guys what it looks like, and stay tuned. We're gonna head to the big vineyard too. I wanna show you how the grapes are doing out there for you guys that may wanna come out for our Upick this September. We are absolutely loaded with grapes. This is gonna be, if the grapes will hold on, this will be the best year we've ever had. We have grapes. We have Isons, Supreme, Black Beauty, Darlene, Carlos. And they're all fantastic grapes. For you winemakers that want to make wine, white wine, the Carlos are great. Red wine, the Isons are fantastic. Carlos are fantastic too. but we have tons and tons of grapes. I want to take you guys over there and show you how our grapes are doing this year. It's just, from me thinking at the beginning of the season, I wasn't going to have any grapes because we had a bug attack early on, to this is probably going to be the best year we've ever had, if the grapes will hold on. But let me show you guys how this turned out. Looks really, really good. And don't let yourself think that it's going to hurt your plants. It doesn't. I do this every single year, sometimes twice a year. The big vineyard I do twice a year, but it doesn't hurt your plants. As a matter of fact, in a few weeks, I could probably have to do it again because they grow so fast. Muscadines are super duper strong. They are absolutely one of the strongest things that we've planted here on our farm. They just come back with a vengeance after bug attacks, disease. I've never really had any problem growing muscadines, and that's probably why I stick with them, because they're easy to grow. Anybody can grow muscadines. If you're in the South, they're a southern grape for you guys that don't know, and they just produce every year. Second year they produce, third year they go crazy. As you can see, got to get past all the leaves. Let me climb underneath here. You can just see grapes and grapes and grapes and grapes and grapes. Of course, the leaves cover everything. It's just grapes, 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 grapes. I'll take you guys over and show you the big vineyard. All right, for you guys that are keeping up with our channel too, our little cottage, it's done. The guest, I should say, the cottage is done. The big house, they start working on it in the next week or two, is what we were told. And they said we could be in there within 3 to 4 months if everything goes smooth. So we're super excited about that. You guys that are new to my channel and don't know, Easter morning our house burnt down, and I mean burnt to the ground. We lost everything. Thank goodness we have a guest house on our, we always call it the guest house. We're going to start calling it the cottage now. Thank goodness we have the cottage. I will give you a tour of it here pretty soon, just not right now. We're doing a muscadine tip video. All right, had to let the dogs out. Here's our vineyard, our Upick vineyard. Got a lot of plans for this winter. After the Upick's over, all the blackberries, for you guys that have kept up with my channel, the blackberries will be gone and replaced with more muscadines. I'm going to put 1, 2, 3. I'm going to add 1 row here, 4, 5, 6, 7 more rows of scumpernongs. I want some more scumpernongs, and I want a different variety. I have Carlos and Darlene on the far side of the vineyard. I'm wanting 3 or 4 rows of Pam. I want a Granny Val, a pineapple, and the small fry. They make some of the best wine I've ever put in my mouth. The small fry, I only have 1 plant over there, and we can make 1 little small batch of wine. So I'm going to fix that this year. I'm going to grow 1 whole row of the small fry. Now, if people want to buy them, that's great. If they don't, I can make some wine. Huge storms with giant pears, and I'm losing trees. I should have pruned. Look at the size of these pears. Didn't do any pruning on my pears this year because we were dealing with all sorts of farm stuff, but I lost that big limb, and over there I got another big one down, but the pears are coming on. Let's check out the grapes, finish this video out. I believe this is a row of my Ison. They are absolutely everywhere. They are just everywhere. Ison's grapes everywhere you look. Ison's grapes. Look at that. No problem finding grapes. Probably a gallon a foot. We average, I think we did an average last year. We tried to keep up with our average last year, and I think we were averaging 5 gallons per plant. And that's a 20-foot section. Each plant is a 20-foot section, so 5 gallons for 20 feet. Man, that's not bad. Check this out. Here at this post, look at these grapes. Just loaded, 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 loaded. We went from thinking we weren't going to have any grapes to just being blown out with grapes. And every row is just loaded. The Supreme seem to be the ones people like the most. I bounce back and forth between the Supreme and the Ison. Check this out. I just can't get over it every time I walk down here. For you guys that are wanting to come to our Upick, we will be open every weekend in September from 10 to 6. Every weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And you can message me or email us. you can email us. Look at that, just everywhere. But you can email us and I'll send you my address. Just don't really want to do it over YouTube. The Supreme are absolutely loaded as well. They're just loaded. The Supreme, they are a huge grape. I always refer to them as little purple ping pong balls. They just grow so big. They're a little on the small side now, but they will plump up. They will definitely plump up. Especially we got 4 or 5 days of rain coming. Should be here any minute. You can see the clouds are coming. Should be here any minute. For you Supreme lovers, we got them. Please come out this September and hang out with us. All right, I'm gonna wrap this up. I love being out here. Look at the grapes. It's just crazy. They are absolutely, what are you doing? They are just everywhere. And Mia loves the grapes too. It is hilarious to feed Mia muscadine grapes. She absolutely loves them. Also, one last thing, I'm gonna wrap this video up. Pretty soon, when our big house, I call it the big house in the cottage. Pretty soon when our regular house is gonna be built. When we move in there, we will be Airbnb the cottage. Gonna be kinfolk cottage. You guys can come out and stay. We haven't made anything final yet, but it's coming. It's coming. We sank some money into that thing to get it right, and we want to make some money back on it. So you can come out, hang out. It's so deathly quiet out here for you guys that want to relax. There's tons of stuff to do. I will make a video. It'll be in a few months, but I'll make a video showing all the things you can do around town. It's gonna be super fun. But you can come out and stay. Pick grapes, hang out in the vineyard, get you some eggs, have some wine with us. We'll have a blast. I think it's gonna be a lot of fun. Love you guys to death. I'm gonna let you go. See you on the next video. That was a long video, wasn't it?